They arrested a female SEAL sniper. Then her tattooed battlefield map exposed their 200-kite scam. Footsteps echo down the silent hall as a single spotlight swings across empty chairs. A cold metal shackle snaps around her wrist. Harper Jackson, ex-SEAL sniper, turned community advocate, stares down the packed council chamber with ice in her veins. They branded her a troublemaker. They thought her small frame and quiet resolve made her powerless. But beneath that sleeve lies a tattooed battlefield map and 12 names they refuse to remember. Tonight, she'll expose the truth they buried, and the moment she plugs in her USB, the world will watch their names live forever. Don't let their stories fade into the shadows. Hit subscribe now and join the front lines of justice. Smash that like button to stand with Harper as she unearths buried truths, and drop a comment if you believe every name deserves to live forever. Turn on notifications because in the next minutes, you'll witness history rewritten, and you won't want to miss a single revelation. Harper's boots crunch over frost-kissed gravel as dawn's first light splinters through the maple branches. In the hush of Cascade Harbor Memorial, she kneels before a row of bronze plaques, each one etched with a soldier's name. Her breath puffs in clouds as she places a single white rose at the base of a plaque marked Lieutenant Maya Carter. Her fingers brush the cold metal, and for a moment you can almost hear the echo of distant gunfire. She rises, coat collar turned high against the chill, and scans the field. Families of every hue, white, black, Latinx, indigenous, gather here each morning, drawn by a shared grief that history tried to erase. Harper's eyes flick to Miguel Torres, a wiry veteran with silvering hair, who stands a few paces away, carefully folding the edge of an old flag. His jaw tightens when he sees her, and he offers a terse nod. They understand each other without words. As the town clock chimes 6, she unslings her satchel and pulls out a weathered notebook filled with scribbled names, 12 women who never made it home. These are the souls she fights for. With each page she turns, you feel her pulse quicken, the weight of uncounted sacrifices of stories left untold. She's spent months gathering testimonies, digging through dusty archives, and confronting bureaucrats who dismissed her as just another activist. Behind her, the memorial's white marble columns catch the sunrise, casting long shadows across a mosaic of flags, flapping in a stiff breeze. A gentle murmur runs through the mourning crowd, some pause to whisper a prayer. Others trace their fingers over the etched names, eyes glistening. But in the far corner, a polished black SUV idles. Blake Harrison, the city council's finance director, steps out, phone pressed to his ear. His tailored suit and cool demeanor betray nothing, yet beneath that veneer lies a ledger stuffed with ghost donations and hidden agendas. Harper scans the plaque row one last time and closes her eyes. You almost hear her heartbeat, the steady thrum of determination. She whispers, "You will be remembered." When she opens her eyes, they blaze with a promise justice will not be denied. She strides toward the council building, footsteps echoing off stone walls. Inside, the fluorescent lights hum overhead as she greets friendly faces, volunteers, local journalists, concerned citizens, each carrying dossiers and petitions. Papers shuffle, laptops click, and hushed conversations spike with anticipation. Tonight, the council will hear her proposal to expand the memorial, and tonight, Blake Harrison will make his move to bury the truth. But what he doesn't know is that Harper has something far more powerful than any spreadsheet. She has proof, eyewitness accounts, and the names etched in her own flesh. As she settles at the long oak conference table, the aluminum USB glints in her hand, a small key to unlocking years of buried deceit. Behind her, the doors swing open, and the council members file in, murmuring greetings. The chamber falls silent as Harper stands straightening her blazer. In that pregnant moment, before she speaks, the tension coils like a drawn bowstring. You can feel the weight of expectation, the electric buzz of potential upheaval. This is where her fight truly begins, and every soul in that room is about to discover that history isn't written by those who conform, but by those brave enough to demand the spotlight. Harper steps to the podium, heart hammering, as the first slide flickers to life behind her, a faded photograph of Lieutenant Maya Carter helmet. stained with desert sand. Immediately, murmurs ripple through the chamber, questions in their eyes, before a single word is spoken. Across the room, Blake Harrison leans back in his chair, lips lifting in a cynical half smile as he taps out a text on his phone. You claim there are 12 women missing from this memorial. Councilman Reynolds drawls, voice smooth as oil. Where is your proof? Harper's throat goes dry, but she breathes deep, feeling the rough grain of the lectern beneath her fingertips. These names were erased, but their service was real, she replies, voice steady. I have sworn depositions from commanding officers, service records stamped top secret. Suddenly, Blake stands. The room's light catches on the gold cufflinks at his wrists. Top secret, you say? And you expect us to believe an ex-SEAL with a chip on her shoulder? His words land like a slap. A flicker of doubt passes the faces of the council members. In that moment, Harper's chest tightens. She can almost taste the tang of fear, metallic and cold. But then a photograph appears beside Maya Carter Miguel Torres, in his dress, blues flag furled in his arms. Harper's finger hovers over the remote. She remembers the night Miguel slipped her an envelope behind the memorial columns, voice hushed. They tried to silence us, but they underestimate how far I'll go for my sister. She clicks. The chamber lights dim, and on the screen flood dozens of video clips. Daughters of the fallen mothers in uniform, fellow SEALs with eyes red from tears, each recounting injustices, denied medals, missing names, budgets diverted to private donors. Whispers buzz like electricity. Councilwoman Chang's eyes moisten. This is horrifying. Blake's face flushes. He clears his throat. These are anecdotal. Emotional appeals do not equal evidence. He launches into a rehearsed tirade about balanced budgets and community priorities. But Harper senses cracks in his armor. Outside, through Sliver Creek's arched window, a street protest swells. Chants echo faintly. Remember our heroes. Justice for the 12. A live feed pops up in the corner of the slide. Blake's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen and pales. It's footage of local news, Miguel leading a growing crowd brandishing roses, and photographs of the 12 women. The tension coils tighter. Harper's chest pulses with adrenaline, each beat a defiance. And what of these $200,000 in unaccounted funds meant for the memorial, she presses. When I filed a public records request, your office responded, no records found. Explain that. Blake's jaw clenches. His voice wavers. I'm looking into that. He glances at the mayor's empty seat. No backup. In the back row, a reporter murmurs into a mic. Counsel hears financial impropriety charges against Harrison. Phones raise, shutters click. The chamber's air grows thick with expectancy. Harper feels her pulse in her temples, a roaring river of triumph and dread. Tonight, she says, leaning forward so her voice barely clears her lips, I will present the ledger that names the shell corporations, funneling money away from our heroes' remembrance. She lifts a manila folder, and I invite each of you to question every line, every transaction. A hush falls so complete, you could hear Blake's breath catch. Councilman Reynolds shifts white knuckles tightening on the table. Harper continues page by page, revealing burner accounts registered under Blake's childhood address, transfers routed through nonprofits he chaired. With each detail, a small gasp, a nod, a darting look. The emotional weight of each service member's story, read in their own letters home, breaks down the final defenses. As she closes the folder, the final evidence laid bare. Miguel's voice overlays the scene. This isn't just about names, it's about honor, truth, and who we choose to remember. In that suspended second, every eye locks on Blake. His posture slumps, the veneer of control shattered. He stammers, but no words come. The council clerk leans in, fingers poised to call for the vote. Outside, the protest roars to life, the chant swelling in harmony with the drumbeat of history shifting. Harper's breath steadies. She allows herself a small, fierce smile. But, just as triumph seems hers, her phone buzzes a new email marked urgent. She glances down. Subject court injunction filed, memorial expansion halted. Her stomach lurches. The room swirls stakes higher than ever. She exhales, steeling herself. The real battle isn't over. It's only just begun. Harper's fingers hover over her phone as she reads Miguel's urgent message. I've secured the incontrovertible evidence. Meet me at the old armory midnight. A shiver of anticipation snakes down her spine. This is the moment when she stops playing by the rules. She slips out of the council chamber under the pretense of gathering files, heart pounding like a war drum. The corridor's fluorescent lights flicker as she passes empty offices each door, a reminder of the secrets they keep behind closed walls. She steps outside into the sharp night air, the memorial's marble columns rising like silent sentinels in the moonlight. In the distance, the abandoned armory looms its rusted gate, a threshold between what was permitted and what must be done. Miguel waits inside, shadowed by supply crates and old weapons racks. His eyes shine with urgency as he hands her a slim hard drive. This contains the raw payroll logs, email threads, and bank drafts, he whispers. Every transaction, every ghost donation, every lie. Harper clamps the hard drive in her gloved hand, feeling its cold weight like a detonator's pin. She exhales breath, visible in the beam of her flashlight. Tonight, she says, voice low but fierce, we ignite the spark that will burn away their deceit. Back at her apartment, she spreads the armory's haul across the kitchen table. Spreadsheets scrawled with red warnings, photos of secret meetings at five-star hotels, video snippets where Blake's voice can be heard dismissing women's sacrifices as budget overruns. Each piece snaps into place like a jagged puzzle, revealing the face of corruption. She opens her laptop and sets up a secure live stream, a direct feed to every major news outlet, social media platform, and local activist network. The countdown clock ticks down 4 hours until the council reconvenes. She codes a custom overlay. At the top, their lies. Our heroes. Below the names of the 12 women in bold. As she works, memories flash falling sand in distant deserts. Mortar fire rattling her bones, the grief of laying her sister in arms to rest. She doesn't just crave victory. She needs this to be righteous. She types a final message to her subscribers. Prepare for the unmasking. Stand ready. At the council building before dawn, Harper cuts power to the main projector feed, using a simple electromagnetic pulse device she salvaged from her SEAL days. Gasps erupt as the lights flicker out. In the sudden hush, her livestream feed hijacks the hall's monitors. Blake Harrison's face blinks to life mid-meeting, glancing nervously at his phone. Good morning. Harper's voice rings through the silence. I regret the inconvenience, but the truth cannot wait. She plugs in the hard drive. Instantly, emails scroll across the screen line after line of Shell Corporation's offshore accounts' coded memos. The council members' eyes widen. The audience gasps. She switches to video evidence Blake in a dimly lit room, laughing with lobbyists, as he signs contracts that divert memorial funds to exclusive golf clubs. His laughter echoes like a slap in the face to every family mourning a lost daughter. The room shifts. People lean forward, phones raised, recording, streaming, sharing momentum, building like an avalanche. Councilman Reynolds stammers, This is fabricated. But as Harper zooms in on the timestamp and audio watermark, his claim crumbles. She points to Blake's suit pocket there, a label from the very same boutique where he bought cufflinks with memorial-dedicated funds. And then she lays out her demand, immediate public accounting, an independent audit, formal apologies, and a commitment to erect the new Women's Memorial by Veterans Day. Let history judge us by how we honor our own, she intones. In that charged stillness, the council clerk raises her hand to call the vote. Outside, protesters rally, their chants swelling through the walls. Inside, Blake's face drains of color. The clerk's gavel descends, all in favor. Harper exhales, adrenaline coursing. The plan has worked, but she knows the real reckoning starts now as the facts go viral and the world watches these names live forever. ChatGPT Jannoy. Harper stands at the threshold of the council chamber. Once more, the morning light filtering through stained glass windows and casting fractured rainbows across her determined face. In her palm, the slim hard drive feels like a live wire. She breathes in the hush of anticipation and steps forward, heels clicking on the marble floor. Every eye turns. The air thickens with electric expectancy. She lifts her voice, calm and unyielding. Yesterday, I showed you the lies on paper. Today, you'll witness the betrayal in action. A hush falls. On the screens behind her, the first frame of her carefully edited exposé appears a tight shot of Blake Harrison leaning over a mahogany desk in his private office, stifling a laugh as he slides a fistful of bills into an envelope stamped for memorial maintenance. A murmur ripples as she presses play. Blake's voice echoes, "These funds should never be tied up in that women's memorial nonsense." His words land like a punch to the gut. The camera cuts to archival footage of the 12 fallen women, each image lingering long enough for their sacrifice to pierce through the monotony of council proceedings. Harper watches the crowd as Blake's laughter fades into uncomfortable silence. She senses the shift, that subtle imbalance when truth demolishes carefully constructed facades. She clicks again. The next clip shows a clandestine meeting at an exclusive country club, Blake wiping mud from his boots on plush carpet as lobbyists slide briefcases across a poker table. She lets the audio swell the clink of glasses, the hush of whispered transactions. One hand drifts to her side. She grips the podium's edge, knuckles whitening. She doesn't need to speak, the footage speaks. Faces in the room turn pale, jaws slack. Phones rise to record. Tweets begin to post in real time. Harper lets the moment stretch, savoring the collective realization washing over them. Then she kicks in the crescendo, a split screen of live feeds, one from inside the chamber, one from the protest outside. On screen, Miguel stands before a swelling crowd, megaphone raised, chanting, "Honor her name, honor her name." The two worlds collide, and you feel the thunder of public will pressing against institutional inertia. Harper's voice returns soft but firm. This is not politics. This is accountability. She strides away from the podium, unfurling a second hard drive cable and connecting it to the chamber's main console, an audacious move that catches everyone off guard. As the live stream kicks through the hall's speakers, Blake lunges forward, but Harper's presence is a shield. She meets his gaze and holds it. You hear the gasp as confidential emails scroll across the screen lines of code, revealing shell corporations in Cayman Islands masked behind innocuous names like Harbor Community Fund. One after another, transaction records flash $50,000 here, $75,000 there, each amount originally earmarked for cleaning and restoring the women's plaques. Instead, the money financed Blake's lavish lifestyle skiing trips, luxury watches, even a private jet membership. In the back row, Councilman Delgado doubles over, murmuring, "How could he?" Councilwoman Chang presses her hand to her mouth, tears pooling in her eyes. Blake's face turns ashen. Sweat beads at his hairline. He stammers. This must be doctored, but the timestamp proves otherwise, live metadata from the very server he thought secure. Harper steps forward again, voice rising. Every dollar stolen is a story silenced. Every hidden ledger entry erases a life that deserves remembrance. She clicks once more. A montage of family testimonials floods the screen, a widow clutching an unmailed letter, a daughter clutching a photograph torn at the edges, a mother reciting her child's final words on the battlefield. Each face is raw, each voice trembling with grief and righteous fury. The room convulses collectively. You feel the walls breathe with the weight of collective guilt. Phones record, pens scratch breaths, hitch. Harper allows a beat, no words, just the charged silence of revelation. Then she speaks the words the chamber has been waiting to hear. I demand an immediate vote to restore every stolen penny, to erect this memorial by Veterans Day, and to hold Blake Harrison personally accountable. Councilman Reynolds rises first, voice quivering with resolve. I move that we approve full restitution and expansion of the memorial. A second backs him. Harper watches as hands raise in succession, until only Blake remains seated alone, exposed. His lips part, victory slipping from his grasp. Outside, the crowd's roar surges, shaking the windows. Inside, the clerk raps the gavel motion carries. The word echoes like a verdict. Harper exhales, the tension melting from her shoulders in a single exhalation of triumphant relief. But she doesn't bask in victory. Instead, she turns to face the chamber, voice softening. Let this stand as a testament. Power corrupts when left unchecked, but justice reigns when we choose to remember. The video feed lingers on the 12 names, as the chamber, now united, bows heads in solemn respect. Her final act is silent. She unclasps her blazer sleeve, revealing the intricate tattooed map and names of the 12 women. In that moment, the room shifts from awe to reverence. Cameras click, wiping away the last vestiges of dismissal. Harper's tattoo becomes the seal of truth, a permanent reminder etched in flesh and memory. As she steps back, Miguel emerges from the crowd, offering a hand. They share a look of shared victory, a bond forged in the fires of truth. The cameras pivot, capturing their handshake beneath the glow of restored justice. And, as the scene fades, you understand Harper's revenge was never about vengeance. It was about restoring honor, giving voice to the voiceless, and proving that when history is denied, it must be demanded anew. Harper steps aside as the clerk's gavel strikes for the final time. A ripple of stunned silence sweeps the chamber before it breaks into thunderous applause. Council members rise, some wiping tears, others exchanging knowing glances, everyone transformed by truth laid bare. Blake Harrison sits frozen shoulders, slumped eyes hollow. He finally lifts his head, mouth opening, but no words come. His authority has evaporated in plain sight. In the back row, Councilwoman Chang exhales shakily. We failed them, she murmurs, voice thick with remorse. Councilman Reynolds leans forward, offering his hand to Harper. Thank you for holding us to our promise, he says, and the gesture passes through the room like a benediction. Outside the chamber doors, protesters press against the glass faces alight with victory. Miguel steps forward, megaphone in hand, and the crowd surges into a unified chant. Justice for the 12. Justice for the 12. Their roar is a living echo of every woman whose name was nearly forgotten. Harper watches them, chest swelling with both relief and resolve. She glances back at the council, now convening an emergency session to draft the Memorial Expansion Ordinance on the spot. Laptops open, pens scratch, and even Blake's former allies tap notes, knowing they must align with the new reality. Minutes later, as the amended bill is read aloud, inclusive of funding design plans and construction timelines, families of the 12 fallen step forward. A widow in a navy blue dress clutches her daughter's service ribbon. A grandfather with trembling hands places a small wreath at the podium. Cameras click, capturing each tender moment as forgiveness and recognition intertwine. The local news anchor's live shot cuts in historic vote today restores honor to 12 unsung heroines of Oregon. Council unanimously passed the resolution, and families are finally seeing their loved ones remembered. Her voice cracks with emotion. Social media notifications explode, flooding screens, with hashtags like 12 remembered and Harper Jackson. Inside the chamber, Blake is escorted quietly by security. He pauses at the threshold, turning for one last look. His face, pale and defeated, meets Harper's unwavering gaze. In her eyes, he sees no hate, only the cold justice of accountability. It's the moment his legacy fractures forever. Harper steps forward, placing her palm on the cool marble of the memorial wall that now bears the first 12 names in bronze. You feel the weight of history in that touch, an electric promise that these sacrifices will never fade again. Behind her, the council members join hands placed reverently alongside hers. A hush falls, broken only by the soft hum of TV cameras. Harper whispers, "May they rest in peace, forever honored." Then she lifts her head, voice ringing clear. Let this stand as a beacon. When we choose to remember, we choose justice. As the sun breaks through storm clouds outside, a golden beam illuminates the memorial plaques. The crowd outside watches, faces turned heavenward, some with tears, others with quiet smiles. The camera pulls back Harper at the center, framed by her community, a silhouette of resilience against brightening skies. Long after the chamber empties, her live stream continues to broadcast reactions across the nation. Veterans groups pledge similar memorial projects. City councils in neighboring towns announce reviews of their own monuments. Historians begin archiving interviews with the 12 women's comrades. In living rooms and cafes, strangers share the clip of Blake's confession, the evidence scroll, and Harper's closing words. Each replay cements the moment justice was demanded and delivered. The world watches as a small town writes a new chapter in its history, one where the voiceless finally speak, and the powerful answer for every stolen name. And, in that echoing aftermath, you feel the promise kept, that truth once unleashed cannot be silenced, and that the memory of 12 women will live forever. As the sun sets on Cascade Harbor, remember this change begins when one voice refuses to be silent. Harper Jackson stood alone against an empire of indifference, and in that chamber she proved that truth wields more power than any ledger or law. If you believe every story matters, hit subscribe now and share this video. Let the world know that justice is not a privilege, but a right. Leave a comment below. Whose name would you fight to remember? And don't forget to tap the notification bell, because next week we'll uncover another hidden chapter in history that demands to be heard. Together, we're rewriting the narrative, one voice, one story, one act of courage at a time. Join us and be part of the movement that ensures no hero ever fades into the shadows again.